In the village of Ndaleni, there lived two sisters. Their names were Adaugo and Zenil. Adaugo was the elder sister, graceful like a river that flows without noise. Zenil was the younger one, beautiful like the first flower that blooms after the rains. Their compound was filled with joy every morning. The sisters would wake up together, fetch water together, and help their mother Amelie with the cooking. Their laughter was the song of the compound. Their bond was strong like the roots of the old baobab tree. The people of Nolini would say, "See how Amelie's daughters love each other. They are truly blessed." The sisters shared everything, their food, their clothes, their secrets, and their dreams of marriage and children. Nobody in the village could imagine that one day, these two sisters would become enemies. Nobody could see the storm that was coming to tear them apart. One hot afternoon, when the sun was high and the chickens were hiding under the trees, a stranger came to Ndaleni. His name was Kwabena, and he was not from their village. He rode a fine horse and wore clothes that showed he had money. Kwabena stopped at the compound of Amelie. He greeted the family with respect and asked for water to drink. Amelie welcomed him, as was the custom. She called her daughters to bring palm wine and kola nuts for the visitor. When Adaugo came with the calabash of palm wine, Kwabena's eyes lit up. "What a beautiful and well-mannered young woman," he said to himself. But when Zenil came with the kola nuts, his heart began to beat faster. Her beauty was like lightning that strikes the eye. Kwabena thanked the family and said he would return the next day. As he rode away, both sisters watched him go. Neither of them knew that this stranger would destroy their love for each other. The next morning, Kwabena came back. This time, he brought gifts. Fine cloth, cowrie shells, and a young goat. He asked to speak with Amelie and the elders of the family. "I have come to ask for the hand of your daughter Adaugo in marriage," he said to Amelie. "I have seen her grace and her good manners. She will make a good wife." Amelie was pleased. Adaugo was 22 years old, and it was time for her to marry. Kwabena seemed like a good man with wealth to take care of her daughter. But as Kwabena spoke about Adaugo, his eyes kept moving to where Zenil sat. Zenil noticed this. Her heart began to pound. She felt something she had never felt before, a wanting that burned like fire in her chest. Adaugo was happy but also shy. She had never thought about marriage to this stranger. But she trusted her mother's wisdom. For many days, Kwabena visited the compound. He would sit with the elders and discuss the bride price. But every time Zenil passed by, he would steal glances at her. And every time, Zenil would feel that fire burning stronger in her heart. At night, Zenil could not sleep. She would lie on her mat thinking about Kwabena. She loved her sister, but she also wanted what her sister was going to have. The wanting grew bigger each day like a plant that drinks too much water. "Sister," Zenil said to Adaugo one evening, "do you love this man Kwabena?" "I do not know him well yet," Adaugo replied. "But mother says he is good, and I trust her." "Why do you ask?" "No reason," Zenil lied. "I just want you to be happy." But deep in her heart, Zenil was not thinking about her sister's happiness. She was thinking about her own wants. Bekazitha, the oldest and wisest man in Ndaleni, was called to help with the bride price talks. He sat under the big tree with Amelie, Kwabena, and other family elders. The sisters sat nearby, listening. Kwabena had brought many gifts, 10 goats, 20 pieces of fine cloth, cowrie shells, palm wine, and money. The elders were impressed. This was a good bride price for Adaugo. "This young man respects our daughter," said Bekazitha. "His gifts show that he values her." Amelie nodded. "We accept your gifts, Kwabena. Adaugo will be your wife after the ceremonies." As the elders shook hands and celebrated, Zenil felt something dark growing in her heart. She watched Kwabena smile and shake hands, and all she could think was, "Why not me? Why does my sister get everything good?" For the first time in her life, Zenil hated her sister. That night, Zenil could not eat. She could not sleep. The jealousy in her heart was like poison spreading through her body. She looked at Adaugo sleeping peacefully and felt angry. "It's not fair," she whispered to herself. "I am more beautiful than Adaugo. I am younger. Why did he choose her?" From that day, Zenil began to change. She stopped laughing with her sister. She stopped sharing her food. When people praised Adaugo's coming marriage, Zenil would walk away. Adaugo noticed the change but did not understand it. "Sister, are you sick?" she asked. "You seem sad these days." "I am fine," Zenil would say. But she was not fine. The jealousy was eating her heart like termites eat wood. Amelie also noticed that something was wrong, but she was too busy preparing for the wedding to pay close attention. One evening, as Zenil sat alone, an evil idea came to her mind. "What if Kwabena changes his mind?" she thought. "What if he decides he wants me instead of Adaugo?" The idea grew bigger and bigger until it filled her whole mind. She began to plan how she could make Kwabena notice her more. How she could make him want her instead of her sister. She would dress more beautifully when he came to visit. She would serve him food and water with more grace than Adaugo. She would find ways to be alone with him and talk to him sweetly. Zenil did not think about how this would hurt her sister. All she could think about was getting what she wanted. The jealousy had made her blind to everything else. The next time Kwabena visited, Zenil put her plan into action. She wore her most beautiful wrapper and braided her hair with beads. When Kwabena arrived, she was the first to greet him. "Welcome, Kwabena," she said with a sweet smile. "You look tired from your journey. Let me bring you fresh palm wine." As she served him, she made sure to stand close to him. She spoke to him softly and asked about his travels. Kwabena found himself drawn to her beauty and charm. Adaugo watched from a distance and felt confused. Why was her sister being so friendly with her husband-to-be? But she trusted Zenil and did not think anything bad. After Kwabena left that day, he could not stop thinking about Zenil. Her beauty and sweetness had touched something in his heart. For the first time, he began to wonder if he had chosen the right sister. Zenil saw that her plan was working. Kwabena was noticing her. So she decided to take the next step. She began to tell him lies about Adaugo. One day, when they were alone by the well, Zenil said to Kwabena, "Brother-in-law, I must tell you something about my sister, but you must promise not to say I told you." Kwabena was curious. "What is it, Zenil?" "Adaugo, she is not as happy about this marriage as she pretends," Zenil lied. "She told me she wishes she could marry someone from our village instead. Someone she loves more than you." Kwabena felt like someone had poured cold water on him. "Are you sure about this?" "I do not want to hurt you," Zenil said, pretending to be sad. "But I thought you should know. A man deserves a wife who truly wants him." This was the first lie, but it would not be the last. Day by day, Zenil told Kwabena more lies about Adaugo. She said Adaugo complained about his looks. She said Adaugo did not want to leave Ndaleni. She said Adaugo was only marrying him for his money. With each lie, Kwabena's heart grew colder toward Adaugo and warmer toward Zenil. He began to see Zenil as the sweet, honest sister and Adaugo as the false one. At the same time, Zenil made herself even more attractive to Kwabena. She would accidentally touch his hand when serving him food. She would laugh at his jokes. She would ask him about his life and listen with big, interested eyes. Soon, Kwabena found himself thinking more about Zenil than about Adaugo. The younger sister's beauty and apparent honesty had won his heart completely. Adaugo did not know what was happening. She only noticed that Kwabena seemed distant and cold when they spoke. One evening, Zenil asked Kwabena to meet her by the river. "I need to tell you something important," she said. By the light of the moon, Zenil and Kwabena met in secret. There, she told him the biggest lie of all. "Kwabena, my heart is heavy," she said, with fake tears in her eyes. "I cannot watch you marry my sister when I know she does not love you. And I cannot hide my feelings anymore. I have loved you since the first day I saw you." Kwabena felt like the ground was moving under his feet. "Zenil, what are you saying?" "I am saying that I love you with my whole heart. And I believe you feel the same about me. Am I wrong?" Kwabena looked at her beautiful face in the moonlight and knew he could not lie. "No, you are not wrong. I do feel the same." That night, by the river, Zenil and Kwabena decided to betray Adaugo. They planned how Kwabena would break off his engagement to Adaugo and ask for Zenil's hand instead. The next morning, Kwabena came to the compound with a heavy heart but a firm decision. He asked to speak with Amelie and the elders. "I have come to return your daughter's bride price," he said, placing the cowrie shells and money before them. "I cannot marry Adaugo." Amelie was shocked. "But why? What has happened?" "I have learned that Adaugo does not truly want to marry me. She loves someone else. I do not want a wife who will be unhappy," Kwabena said, repeating Zenil's lies. Adaugo felt like lightning had struck her. "That is not true," she cried. "I never said such things." But Kwabena would not listen. Then he spoke the words that broke Adaugo's heart into pieces. "I wish to marry Zenil instead. She is the one who truly loves me, and I love her." The compound fell silent. Everyone stared at Zenil, who looked down at the ground but did not deny it. Adaugo looked at her sister with eyes full of pain and anger. "Zenil, is this true? Did you do this?" Zenil finally looked up, and for a moment, her sister could see the guilt in her eyes. But jealousy had made her heart hard. "Yes, it is true," Zenil said. "I love Kwabena, and he loves me. You would not have been happy with him anyway. How could you?" Adaugo screamed. "You are my sister. My own blood. How could you betray me like this? You have everything." Zenil shouted back. "You are the elder daughter. Everyone respects you. Everyone listens to you. Why should you have the best husband too?" The two sisters faced each other like enemies. Their bond, which had been strong for 20 years, broke like a dry stick. Amelie tried to make peace. "My daughters, please stop this madness." But it was too late. The damage was done. News of what happened spread through Ndaleni like fire through dry grass. Some people said Zenil was wrong to betray her sister. Others said Kwabena was free to choose who he really loved. The village became divided. Adaugo's friends stood by her. They said Zenil was selfish and evil. Zenil's friends said Adaugo was proud and did not deserve happiness. Families stopped speaking to each other. The unity of Ndaleni was broken, just like the unity of Amelie's family. Amelie cried every day. Her heart was broken to see her daughters hating each other. She tried to talk to them, but neither would listen. Adaugo spent her days alone, crying and feeling betrayed. Zenil prepared for her new marriage, but deep down, she was not as happy as she thought she would be. The guilt was beginning to eat at her heart. Old Bekazitha watched all this with sad eyes. He had seen many things in his long life, but few things hurt him like seeing a family destroyed by jealousy. One evening, he gathered the people of Ndaleni under the big tree. He spoke in his old, wise voice. "Listen to me, children of Ndaleni. I have lived many years and seen many sorrows. But the sorrow that comes from within a family is the worst of all." He pointed to where Adaugo sat alone on one side and Zenil sat with Kwabena on the other side. "Look at these sisters. Once, their love was like a strong rope that could not be broken. Now, jealousy has cut that rope. A family divided by jealousy is like a clay pot dropped on stone, once broken, it can never be the same. The old man's voice grew stronger. Jealousy is like a weed that grows in the heart. If you do not pull it out quickly, it will kill everything good around it. It will destroy love, destroy families, destroy villages. Many people began to cry as they listened to Bekazitha's words. Zenil married Kwabena 3 months later. But her happiness did not last long. Kwabena began to see her differently. If she could betray her own sister, what would she do to him? The lies she had told began to eat at her conscience. She had won what she wanted, but the price was too high. She had lost her sister, her peace, and the respect of many people in the village. Adaugo never married. The pain of betrayal made her heart hard, and she could not trust anyone again. She lived alone, bitter and sad. Amelie died 3 years later, some say from the sadness of seeing her daughters as enemies. She went to her grave without seeing them reconcile. And so, the village of Ndaleni learned a hard lesson. They learned that jealousy destroys everything it touches. They learned that family bonds, once broken by betrayal, are hard to repair. They learned that wanting what belongs to another person can cost you everything you hold dear. The story of Adaugo and Zanele became a warning tale. Mothers would tell it to their daughters. Elders would tell it to the young people. Remember the sisters of Ndaleni, they would say. Remember what jealousy can do. Even today, when people see sisters fighting over a man, they shake their heads and say, do not be like Adaugo and Zenil. Do not let jealousy destroy the love between you. For love between sisters is precious, but jealousy is a poison that can kill even the strongest bond. This tale teaches us that jealousy is dangerous. It shows us that wanting what belongs to others can destroy our own happiness. It reminds us that family bonds are precious and should be protected. Share this story with someone you love today. Let them know how much they mean to you. Subscribe for more wisdom from African folktales, and remember, the love of family is worth more than any prize.